Evening, everyone. This is Rahul Reddy. I'm a mentor with Career Launcher Bangalore. I have with me Diya Agrawal. She is a All India first rank for AILET 2024. So let me offer my congratulations to you and your family, who must be ecstatic for this result.
Thank you, sir. Yes, definitely.
Right. So let's kind of start from the beginning. So when is it that you first got the idea that you want to be a lawyer, you want to pursue law as a profession?
So I started off in December last year. Coincidentally,
Hmm.
December 3rd, 2023 is
Hmm.
when I had my SAT, and this was
Hmm.
the first time I was writing any kind of entrance exam. So
Right.
SAT is a reading based and a math based paper, and I prepared for it without knowing what I want to do in future because I thought, okay, it's the last offline SAT, so I'll give it a shot.
Hmm.
And incidentally, I got a 1590 out of 1600
Hmm.
on the SAT. So that's when I realized that reading and crunching a vast amount of data, processing it per se, is something I'm good at. And this is
Right.
what law and AILET is about. So this was the first time I thought, ki, yeah, I can do this. This is a possible option for me.
Right. That's around the time that you joined with Career Launcher?
I joined Career Launcher earlier this year, I think
Hmm.
around Feb or March,
February, March.
after my
Okay.
11th final exams, and it's
Hmm.
been a pretty good experience.
Right. So, any particular highlights that you remember from the preparation part of the journey?
As such, with Career Launcher, I was very satisfied with the teachers. The teachers are very open to questions at any time of the day. Then the fact that the center itself is so bustling with life, there are so many people from so many different places, so many different backgrounds, and the peer group itself studying for one common exam in the same place with the same mindset really helps, boost your morale when you're down, or give you a feel of what you're going to be doing in the next 1 year.
Right. Uh, I think, yes, that's normally one of the understated facts when it comes to preparation. The presence of people who are equally hardworking, talented, and who kind of, push each other. So when four people, even if they compete, they actually kind of raise the level of everyone's performance.
Yes.
And of course, we've seen that in legal classes typically tend to be most, let us say, noisy, where there's a lot of debate, a lot of questioning. Okay, why is this answer? What's the logic behind this, and so on. And that's again one area which it's vibrant. It's not just that okay, somebody's teaching and I'm listening. There seems to be a lot of counter questioning. And so what I like about your set of students is that they don't accept an answer because somebody's saying it. They would like to have a proper logic. Good.
Yeah.
So, and because you started about Feb March, I think the mocks would have started pretty soon, right?
Yes.
So, were you always doing well in the mocks, or it was a process?
So to begin with, I was not getting a brilliant score, but then I didn't start at rock bottom, mainly because, first of all, I have a very eclectic reading habit from the beginning. So that really helped because I am interested in any kind of reading material. I'll pick up a magazine or a newspaper, a comic, a novel, and that helped with first speed reading and secondly with vocabulary. Now, vocabulary was also supplemented by the fact that I am interested in spell bees, so I've been doing a lot of spell bees from when I was a first grader, for example.
Hmm.
And this really helped build my foundation for the skills that I need to write law entrance exams. Now, with regard to scores in mocks, I started off around maybe 90s in ALET, but this would vary widely depending on the mock itself. And over time, it did get better, of course. And I really took the mock seriously, which is something I felt helped me a lot along the way.
So, one of the things that we keep encouraging students is to take mocks offline, right? Because finally, these exams are offline, and therefore, while it is the same questions and the same answer choices, there's a little difference between taking it offline and taking it online. So, what would you recommend for students who have the option of taking it offline?
I would definitely say always, always take a mock offline. So, as such, I cannot read anything on a screen without getting distracted or getting frustrated.
Okay.
I've
Hmm.
never taken an online mock. Anything I do is always on print and paper. And it helps because, first of all, you can't get distracted. There is nowhere else you can go when you're on paper. You have to read what's in front of you, whether you like it or not.
Hmm.
And secondly, it's a proven fact that printed material has greater retention. And I have definitely seen this work for me. Anything I do, any GK material, mocks,
Hmm.
it's always, always offline. And I've probably printed out 30 kilos of material this entire year.
Okay, right. So I'm sure we can plant a couple of trees and make up for that. But yes, right. So the other thing that we kind of did this year is that we brought together students of all centers together for a central venue. We did it only about 4 times or so. But how was the experience? Was it similar to the actual CLAT, the Joseph's Marks, where we brought everybody together?
So this was definitely a very, very good experience, giving you an idea of what to expect on test day itself. Because the first of all, the environment of having so many people all either worried or excited and so many emotions just going wild over there, it is definitely a very good way to simulate the actual test day so that you know
Hmm.
what to expect. It's not a complete surprise on test day itself, because the mindset itself is very important. You have to be prepared for anything. So the simulation of the mock in that
Hmm.
center itself was a very good experience, I would say.
Okay, then we come to the key element. Almost all the toppers that I've spoken to this year, previous year, we've always talk about having a set of students. Not all of them per se, but yes, a lot of them have said that they have a group of students that they prepare together with, and sometimes it's formal group, like we are a group of four. Sometimes it's more like fluctuating, but there is a broader set of people. Do you have some support group like this who work together?
Yes, definitely. I have a lot to thank them for. And there are, I don't have a fixed group as such of, say, just four
Hmm.
people who I talk to about anything related
Hmm.
to law entrance exams. But
Hmm.
it's more of, okay, if I find somebody who has similar doubts or disagrees with something I have to say,
Hmm.
then it really works out to, find out what they think about something so that I know either where I'm going wrong or where the other person is right, because law and law entrance is a very subjective field in my opinion. So having a peer group to collaborate with, find 10 different opinions for the same four options in an answer in a question is very, very helpful. It gets you to know where you are going wrong, where they are going wrong, and where you could possibly go wrong.
I'm really hoping that some of these friends of yours join you in the next phase of journey to the same college, and so that you can continue this process of learning.
A lot of them
Good,
have gotten very good ranks.
they have got.
There's
That's awesome. Yeah, you can name them. It's fine.
Okay, there's Kirti, Mantrana, Arjun,
Mm.
Jaya, Vinu. I mean, they've
Mm.
always been there for me, and I really appreciate it.
So now let's move to D-Day. You also, I mean, while this interviews after the IELTS results have come out, you also did reasonably well in CLAT, though I'm sure you were a little disappointed by the rank. So what happened on CLAT day and what happened on IELTS day? How was the experience different, if it was different in any way?
So as such, I prepared way more for CLAT than I did for ALET.
Mm.
But what threw me off track was definitely the different paper this year in CLAT.
Mm.
I mean, I would say the consortium bowled a googly, which they did.
They did.
And while I didn't do my best, I would not say that I have any regrets, because the mistakes I made in CLAT, I didn't make those in ALET, which
Mm.
sort of helped me get over the fact that CLAT did not go so well and fix
Mm.
those in ALET for the next phase of what I was doing. Now, coming to AILET itself, the paper per se, I spent the first 2 minutes looking through the paper and figuring out what the structure of the questions is like. So when I opened the paper, it brought a smile to my face because it was similar to the 2022 pattern paper. And it was very different from the 2023 paper, both of which I had solved as mocks beforehand. Now I was prepared for any eventuality because 2022 paper and 2023 paper were very different in terms of their structure and pattern. Even though they were of the new pattern, new ALET pattern, they were still quite different. Now I was prepared for any paper since I had done the past 5 years papers beforehand. This credit goes to my dad because he insisted I solve 5 years papers no matter how weird or hard they seem. So that really helped because I was prepared for anything that could happen, especially after the CLAT paper.
Right.
Another thing,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
definitely there is some part of luck to play in this. I mean, it could have been me, it could have been anyone else because the paper was something that you could solve if you put your mind to it. I would not say it was easy, but it was of a reasonable difficulty, which I liked. I would rather have a difficult paper than an easy paper. And as such, things did line up. Luck did play a part because I would say that, it's luck will be on your side if you've done everything you can, which I think I
True.
did.
True.
So, yeah,
So
things
yes,
worked out.
I do did have a couple of conversations with your dad even during the program itself, and he's I think extremely supportive as well as motivated. He really wanted the best for you. I think that is that I'm sure played a important role.
Yes, yes.
Uh, so
I mean, it's
now the question. Yeah, go ahead.
it's a bit of a joke that he's been preparing with me so much that he could have written the exam as well.
Yes, I should invite him to write the exam next year along with me. Right. So now the most difficult choice to make, Delhi or Bangalore.
I haven't decided honestly. I think I'm waiting for the
Okay,
counseling results to come out,
I
and
understand.
then I will
No,
take
no
a call.
hurry.
Yeah.
No hurry at all. No hurry at all. Uh, right. There was also a small session wherein the people who got through last year interacted with the students who are going. Were you there for that session?
Yes, yes. First row.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So I think hopefully that helped. And this is also a time to remind you that very soon it will be your turn to give advice and answer queries and questions of students who are going in for CLAT 25 at least, right?
Yeah.
And
It really
yes,
helps to
I
have seniors
have
who've
people who have
done
done.
well, and it motivates you and it also gives you some sense of direction. I mean, I was introduced to law and to CL by a senior of mine who's in NLS,
Okay,
and that was one of my first, ways in which I could figure out what and where if I want to get somewhere.
great. Good. Any tips for people going next year? I'm sure you've seen them in the center, people who are preparing for 25. So what would you tell them? They have a year now.
So, yep. So I had a year too. I started off
Yeah.
almost exactly a year ago. And I would say that it's never too late to start. Because when I started preparing, a lot of my friends were already doing 2 year courses and they had been attending classes, taking mocks, practice, books, and all of those things for quite some time. Another thing is, don't get pulled down by your academic background. In my case, I am a PCMB student, and it's come to me a lot of times that why are you doing law? Why? What's the point? So it's the thing is, everyone's on a level playing field in law. It's not like having a commerce or a humanities background will give you an edge because you don't study law in any of the three streams that we have. So it's not like, okay, if you've taken science, you can't do law because they're very, very disjoint. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. And if you're interested in it, you should definitely do it, irrespective of what people say. Now, another thing is the GK section. A lot of people get scared with GK. And I would say that it's not worth the stress, because at the end of it, it's something that you pick up along the way. It's not like, okay, I have to mug up this set information that I have and go and use it in the paper, because you get an idea of the things happening around you, happening in the world, and then you can use that in ways to answer questions in the paper itself. Even in my case, I didn't know the answers to all the questions in GK, but if you have a basic idea of what's happening, you can figure things out, and that helps a lot. Now, coming to speed reading and answering questions when you have two close answers is something that a lot of people find hard. I did too, but thankfully speed reading was not too much of an issue, because I already was a reader. I've always been a reader, and that really helps. It helps you to be able to crunch a large amount of data, process it, and output it in a certain way that you want. So having a diverse reading habit helps, and it's not something you can pick up in the last 1 year, but if you've had it all through, you can definitely make it better, and that will help always. Then there is the question of the tricky questions, the different types of questions. Say in this year's paper, there were a lot of different types of questions in logical. There were syllogisms, there were inference questions, sequence and math kind of questions, then the legal principles. Now, all of there is no one way to solve them. But again, if you've practiced a lot of sources, a lot of questions, then you're better prepared for these things. Again, one thing that really helped me was the past year paper practice, which gave me an idea of what can come and to be prepared for anything, because these are really different papers, and you can expect something and it won't come, you cannot expect something that will come, and there's nothing you can do about it. So past year's papers are definitely something you should do in the last 1 to 2 months of your prep, to get an idea of where you stand. And maybe while solving the paper, once you've scored your paper, then get in touch with people who wrote the paper last year, find out what the scores were for which ranks, and figure out, get a rough idea of, say, did you lie in 1 to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to 200, and what you need to work on from that point onwards. So past year's papers are very important.
Great. So I think excellent points, all of them. Very important that we don't look at whatever stream that we have chosen as some kind of a chain or a burden. I mean, education is supposed to let one, go free. So I think this year, of course, coincidentally, the CLAT number 2, Pradyot is also a science student. Right? Then we have also a lot of other toppers who are from commerce and humanities background. So it makes NLS a more interesting place also. Sorry, all NLUs are more interesting places, because they are willing to take people from diverse streams. That's good, right? So that's broadly all that we wanted to discuss. I'm so very happy for you, and definitely your dad deserves equal congratulations. Please tell him he's welcome to write CLAT with me anytime, right? And my best wishes, whether you choose Delhi or Bangalore. And I'm pretty sure they will be CL students with you either way, whether you go to Bangalore or Delhi, right? Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.